Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ministry. I am your host, and tonight we are privileged to have Mr. Luvasi Yui, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Pastor.
Amen. And Mr. Luvasi is not a pastor, just in case. Of course, when we say the ministry, you should understand that this relates to assignment. What is your assignment? How best can you execute your assignment? So, Mr. Luvasi is not a pastor, but is a professional person. Maybe you can look into the camera and tell the nation who is Mr. Yui.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. My name is Luvasi Yui, based in Kalumbila, Northwestern Province. I run a starch processing facility called Premier Corn Starch Company Limited. This was a company that was incorporated in 2015, and we've been developing outgrower schemes of cassava and sweet potatoes. Those are our main sources.
Are you married, Mr. Luvasi?
Yes, I'm married. I'm married to a lovely wife called Moma, and I've got 3 children.
We are so grateful. Please inform the nation. I know you have got a cassava processing plant and all this, but it would be better if you tell the nation in details what your qualifications are. Let's think, is he an agronomist? Is he a medical doctor? Is what? And what led you into that?
Thank you very much, Pastor. My qualifications is I've got a first degree, a Bachelor of Arts degree from University of Zambia, public administration, and then I've got a master's degree in finance from University of Lusaka. And I'm a self-taught agronomist and agriculture man. Yes, Pastor.
We are so grateful. Well, Team Cabinet, on behalf of my wife, the Healing Word Ministries, and of course the Cabinet TV technical people, Mr. Luvasi and I want to look at the subject that we have entitled The Impact of Agri Business in Poverty Reduction, Job Creation, and of course the economy. The impact of agri business in poverty reduction, job creation, and the economy. Those things, ladies and gentlemen, they are at the center of my heart. My wife and I have been talking about this. Before I engage Mr. Yui, let me say that I am of a strong belief that Zambia can make it to become an economical force. It can be as powerful as Dubai. It can be as powerful as America. I don't know whether Mr. Yui, I've been deceiving myself. Can Zambia become a power force economically? Do we have what it takes, or we are just condemned to third world that we can't?
We really have all that it takes to be actually the way you just described it. And and as we go further in the discussion, I will demonstrate how agribusiness is at the center of what you've just talked about, and how it can help Africa and Zambia in particular to come out of the quagmire that we find ourselves in.
Because you see, Mr. Yui, God has blessed my wife and I, and He has given us connection with the outside world there. And by the special grace of God, we are connected with people that can help our nation in one or the other. And I said this many months ago. I said to the Camnet TV viewers, and especially addressing it to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Chagwalungu, and the cabinet ministers, those that are watching. A thought has been with me for a long time that if only, this was my suggestion or my thought, if only Zambia can borrow $500 million. Yes, we borrow, and even you, to do your business, sometimes you go to the bank, but you use it intellectually, you use it profitably. So if Zambia can borrow $500 million and that is put in one basket and distributed to all the 10 provinces of Zambia, and in each province call about 10 people with business proposals that can turn the economy around, put $1 million in each one of them. If there can't be 10, even 5, put $2 million. What that means is you'll have created 25 or 50 millionaires in Zambia already. Those people who have got focus that they can turn this economy around, and that will create the employment to the nation of Zambia. Given a chance, if my president said, Pastor, chair this committee according to your vision and bring it into the national picture, it is a very simple issue. Simple issue. However, that said, by the special grace of God, Mr. Yui, of course, you called because you are Cabinet TV viewer and your interest is in Agri business. The friend that I brought, and right now we're talking about giving seed to Zambians, and I'm very careful on that one, to Zambians, not Zambians of something origin. No, I think that we'll be deceiving ourselves. I'm a Zambian from Chinsali. I don't have any other origin. But when you have a Zambian of Japanese origin, you can be assured that that money will not stay in Zambia completely. It will be shared between the two countries. So this program, we want it to be directed to Zambians of Zambian origin. That said, Mr. Yui, we happen to cross your path and inviting you here on Cabinet TV. You have a vast experience, and the people may not know that you and I, when we clicked, when you called the Cabinet TV and all this, I'm looking forward that you may help us, that you may help my wife, you may help our team to put this thing into the right frame. Let me push this to you. Zambia has been dealing with copper from way back, I believe, before I was born. And Dr. Kaunda picked up that vision. Zambia has developed with copper up to today. But with copper, sorry to say this, we don't have even $50 billion in the reserves, and yet it's a rich mineral. Can't we diversify to go into other things? I believe that agriculture can turn this economy around. What is your take on that, Mr. Yui?
Thank you very much, Pastor. I was very privileged to have served as the provincial lands officer for Northwestern Province at a time when just before First Quantum was moving into Kansanshi. Pastor, the past 15 years, Northwestern Province has received the highest inflow of foreign direct investments into the mining. I saw Kansanshi come on board. I saw Lumwana come on board. I saw Kalumbila come on board. We are yet now to see the gold mining in Munyonga come on board. Lumwana, Kansanshi, and Kalumbila, are multi-billion dollar investments. I saw them from drawings to actual implementation. I'm living testimony to the impact that it has had on the communities. But I can state very confidently here that yes, mining is quite a big impact. It has a big impact on the community. But compared to agriculture, agriculture touches much more wider spectrum of society than the actual mining. The development of mining, copper mining, it will start with probably skilled people when they are doing the construction. But as they are going to start the actual production, the numbers reduce and the skills set comes in. So you'd find that the majority of the Zambians that do not have the necessary skills fall off. Now, how do you capture these people? Agriculture becomes the solution. And the agriculture we are talking about here is not the agriculture of maize, but it's the agriculture of both edible and non-edible. The president is on record talking about creation of 500,000 jobs. 500,000 jobs, when you take an agribusiness value chain, you'll have people that are going to be engaged from the start. Those that will do the training, those that will actually grow, those that will grow the seed, those that will produce, those that will buy, those that will transport, those who will process, and those who will be in the process of exporting. When you look at the whole value chain, you will realize that it touches more than 15 different stations. And if you are talking about agribusiness, that has both, because agribusiness is twofold. There's edible crops, there's non-edible crops. When you talk about agribusiness of the edible crops, you are also talking about food security at a household level. Currently, one of the challenges that we are having is high cost of milling meal. Why is there high cost of milling meal? Despite the fact that the presidential hammer milling plants were distributed all over the country. But the country has not responded to produce enough maize to utilize those hammer mills. Hence the reason we are seeing. Now, if we talk about what Camnet is trying to bring to the people of Zambia, the non-edible side of things, what that means is that you have an opportunity to do your edible that you'll eat. You have the opportunity to do the non-edible that has a defined market, pre-contractual, and you already know what you are able to get if you put a hectare, a lima, or 10 hectares. It makes your planning very easy. That should be able to give you income. When it gives you income, that income you get, you are able to use it to buy food, to take your children to school, and to improve your livelihood generally. So it becomes an employment in the sense that you are able to put in an investment. You're able to put in an investment that will reap you results in a defined time. That in itself will also spread different other industries that are aligned to whatever it is that you are going to grow. This is a more reason why agribusiness should be actually put at the center of job creation and poverty reduction, because it touches lives of everybody. Let me pick one very good example. Let me use an edible crop like cassava, which I know and I understand very well. It grows without fertilizer. It grows without fertilizer. It doesn't get affected by armyworms. It can even grow in semi-arid regions. You can use the same cassava to produce ethanol, which is used to produce sanitizers. Look at the cost of sanitizers today with the coronavirus that has come in. Now, the 70% of the ingredients of the sanitizer is ethanol, which can come straight from cassava. Now, imagine here is a scenario where you have people in the rural sector that are growing cassava, and then you have other players who are processing that cassava into ethanol. Some of that ethanol will go towards those who are making sanitizers. Some of it will go towards those who are making cleaning detergents. Those cleaning detergents are used all over, in the hospitals, in the mines. It spurs so many other industries aligned to them. So agribusiness is at the center of industrial development. It is at the center in its production phase. It is at the center of more people doing. When you get into the mine, you're going to discover that one person is driving a truck that probably is carrying 360 tons. One person. So it's very highly mechanized. And where we are going, industry is becoming very highly mechanized and high-tech, meaning more and more people will lose their jobs.
Automated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas agribusiness, it needs more and more people to produce. And then when they produce, they move to the next stage. When they move to the next stage, the whole chain, in its different operations, it will be able to engage different people, different sectors, and help the economy at a bigger level now to save the much needed foreign exchange, and also to ensure that everybody else is committed to doing something that is giving their livelihood. Yes, Pastor.
You see, Mr. Yui, you should educate me and educate the nation. From the little knowledge I have, drinks like this one, which is processed in Kenya, it's processed there. It just comes here for me to consume. These drinks are not adding to our GDP, because the people who bring here, once they send, the GDP goes to Kenya. You know, the growth of the economy goes there. All these markets we have nicely placed everywhere, they bring their finished goods here. In other words, Zambia is on the consumption side. It's not on the production side. Do you think that can cause our economy to grow?
As long as we are going to be importing finished products, finished drinks, our economy will keep reducing, and our hard-earned foreign exchange will keep going to develop other countries. Say you talked about this drink. This drink is mango. We've got a lot of mangoes countrywide, and if we supported industrialization of these kind of projects, and then these flood all these shopping malls that are there, it will improve. First and foremost, it will improve the income of the producers, and it will also add to post-harvest loss. Post-harvest loss meaning when these mangoes are ripe, most of the times you'll discover that they go to rot because people just take them to the road.
They have no use for them.
They have no use because they become too much. But with processing, we are able to make sure that nothing of that sort goes to waste. And as you process, it comes into the shops. Because just this drink alone, it has the person that manufactured the bottle, the top, and the label, and including all those other people that have worked. Coming back again to cassava, a crop that I know very well. From the same cassava, you can get ethanol. You still can get glucose, which you can use as a sweetener to make carbonated drinks. So the question really is, Zambia is one of the countries that are highly consumer countries. We consume so much, despite a small population. We consume quite a lot. And if we can only change our consumption pattern to go towards consuming our own produce, it would mean when you are taking one drink like this one, you have created 15 more jobs back there. If you look at the total number of shopping malls that we have all over the show, and if they were stocking, if each shopping mall was stocking 100, and 100 by 15, which is 150, multiplied by 10 shopping malls, it's 1,500. Multiplied by 30 days, it goes to somewhere 6,000. So this was going to be a whole chain of jobs created along the way. At a macro level, our diversification program, which the 7th National Development Plan talks about diversification from mining as a mainstay of the country. So the other question is diversification from mining to what? So when you look at agribusiness, it sits very well as the next big thing. And the world going forward, we are very blessed in Zambia and in Africa. We have the rains, we have the people. The total number of formal employees is less than 500,000. At the time,
that includes the civil servants.
Yes, that includes the civil servants
and the private sector.
Less
than 500,000.
Yes. Then the informal sector now, these who run to
yes.
Their numbers have also grown quite significantly. But still, we're still less than 1 million plus. Now, if you look at the total budget spend that goes towards civil servants, it takes in more than half the budget of the country. So little goes towards the productive sectors. Not to say that probably the civil servants are not productive. They are. But if we were going to spare some development in agribusiness, we were going to create more jobs that were going to pay more taxes, and the government was going to make sure that they take the taxes that were going to grow the economy. CEEC is trying to champion. We are one of the beneficiaries from the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission in terms of rural industrialization, because of where we are set. We are, and they've also gone further to support 4,000 farmers who are growing cassava. So when you look at 4,000 in a rural setup, that is quite a lot of people that have these farms and have where to sell. And that's just the beginning. So agribusiness, if you look at even aquaculture, how much fish we are consuming. Because why should we be consuming fish that is coming from China when we have water bodies all over the shore that we are not utilizing to the fullest? When you look at a company like Yalelo, which it's quite a forerunner in this fish, they're doing a commendable job. And look at how many jobs they're creating, and look at how much fish they are bringing onto the market. So all these are creating industry. And if we were going to look at aquaculture there, agribusiness there, agro-processing there, and furthermore, if we were going to look at job creation and poverty reduction, agribusiness is the way to go.
You know, Mr. Yui, let me say this for the benefit of our CamNet TV viewers. These crops that we are bringing, the non-edible you've mentioned, should Zambia open up just 600,000 to 700,000 hectares of land and put it into the hands of the people to go into agriculture. You know, I have a document here in my possession that Zambia would be making $90 billion per year. $90 billion using our own land. All we have to do is to bring the seed in here. Now, what that means is that through the same project, we are positioned to create over 6 million jobs. And when we say, you are an expert in that, when we say 6 million jobs, we're talking about a family that is working on these farms. Probably as we go out on the outgrower scheme, each family will be able to get 30,000 kwacha per month. And those worked out details, they are too good to leave, because if you have 6 million people, like you said, government will have a broader tax base. And not only that, we will be able to offload the profits in the Zambian market. And that money will be banked here. You know, one of the things that tortures my mind is how we Zambians get excited when there are supermarkets being opened in shanty towns, in all this. One of my cousins did a very wonderful job for IMF. He wrote a paper which they are using there, and he's based in the UK. One of the things he told me was that in his research, he came up with a write-up which shook him for a while, because these big powers and the people with money, one of the concepts is that you must position, you must get the profits from poor countries, because they spend without thinking. They spend without thinking. And this is very true when you see Zambia. All the supermarket, nobody questions, like you said, where is this fish coming from? My wife, she's a blessing. She never buys things, even in a supermarket, without checking where it's coming from, without checking the expiry date. And several times she has found things that are on the shelves in this big supermarkets from outside the country for security reasons. You find that it has 2 weeks to expire, but it's on the shelf. And Zambia doesn't properly check these things. So in short, Mr. Yui, I am saying that how best can we change the people's thinking that for a moment, let's tighten our belts and do the right thing for once.
Thank you very much, Pastor. First and foremost, it will take a bit of time for people to willingly get into agriculture and agribusiness, especially the production side, simply because it takes quite a lot of hard work and dedication and commitment. But the good thing about it is that agriculture becomes, the moment you plant something, you start seeing it grow. You get attached to it because there's a change every other day. You see it's changing, and you're able to see from a seed, it's coming to a seedling, then a small tree, then a big tree that starts producing some things. It will take a bit of time. It's not going to happen overnight to say today you plant, tomorrow you already have. No. It will take a bit of time. People have to be patient. People have to spend time to get trained. Proper training is very crucial from the right people. 1. 2, seed. The variety of the seed is very key. The training, the seed, and to follow the agronomic practices. Because what Camnet is trying to introduce is a crop that has specifications from the buyer. The biggest challenge with agriculture, why it looks right now, it looks like it's disorganized, is the absence of a confirmed market. Now, what Camnet is trying to bring on board is a confirmed market first.
Absolutely.
Once the confirmed market is set, then everything else just follows through. With the confirmed market, I would like to urge my fellow Zambians to pay particular attention and not to be duped. Let them register themselves and their particulars. It's not going to be a quick fix scheme where people are just going to get money and overnight they are millionaires. They have to be prepared psychologically that we are getting into farming, which takes a bit of time to see returns. But when the returns come and when you stabilize, then the sky is the limit. Training is very important.
That's right.
Because from training, a contract is very important. That contract, that will specify terms and conditions of the two parties. Those that are going to find themselves in an opportunity to be part of the outgrower scheme, I urge you not to go for quick fix schemes of side selling. Some people may come to offer you. That problem is happening in tobacco. In just next door in Mumbai here. Some companies are giving input to the farmers and all the support. While others are just waiting. When the crop is ready, they come and offer a higher price and they buy. Meanwhile, somebody else has given credit, has provided extension. So, my fellow Zambians, when that opportunity comes, please do not side sell. Because side selling destroys the credibility of yourself, one. It also destroys the credibility of the whole project. The contract itself is going to state, I'm sure, quantities that should be met per given period.
Absolutely.
One, in issues of contract, timelines are very important. Quantities, because they are specified. If it says 10 tons per week of this grade A, they'll define it, how long it is, how short it is, how much it should weigh. Everything is defined. And
absolutely.
For you to get that one, you need to make sure you follow the training and then also try and research to get more knowledge and ensure that you only go to the accredited trainer of trainers that Camnet is going to put across. Pastor, when there's land, there are people to grow, there's a market. It creates another business opportunity for the insurance.
Oh yeah.
To also come in and say, in an event that this doesn't happen, us the insurance
will take
this and this. So the whole chain becomes very complete. It creates another business for the insurance people. So it is up to the insurance people as well to make sure they create products. They also come on board. They should start calling you and talking to you now to understand what this project is, so that they also come in. So it becomes sealed. That the risk becomes lower. The lower the risk, the higher the returns.
Maybe at this time, Mr. Yui, let me inform the nation and to thank God for you that by the special grace of God, one American president said, people should come to a place where they don't ask, what is the government going to do for me? But rather, they should say, what am I going to do for the government? Not always wanting to get from the government. That said, by the special grace of God, my wife and our team and this crop that we are bringing to Zambia, one, we have said, as Zambians, please don't sell land. You know, some people, Mr. Yui, they don't see and they don't understand the value of land. And this is the worst part of it. Before President Chiluba came into power, people would even give away, land just like that. But when privatization came, they began to understand that actually a house has value. This has value. But now, because we are all feeding and sucking from this bigger breast of copper, no one is seeing alternatives. Now that there is this agriculture that you're talking about, when we sat down and I welcomed people like Kembo, and the first impression was, they said, Pastor, set up a farm. Let's begin with you so that we show you that there are millions and millions. When I got the whole concept, Mr. Yui, I said to my wife, it's very good for Pastor Chiva to become a millionaire. But becoming a millionaire alone in the midst of poverty-stricken Zambians, it doesn't pay. Let's open up this issue. That's when we opened up to Zambia. And as we stand, I can tell you, the first truck is supposed to roll into Zambia next week, 40-ton truck, to come and bring the seed. Now, those people that have registered with Cabinet, like you have said, we are passing on to our lawyers. There is no way we can give somebody the seed or they buy from us and sell it. As a matter of fact, what people do not know is that the gentleman that we are working with is the president of the seed for Africa. He has the rights. Even if you package without our knowing, then put it on a cargo plane to Tanzania or to Switzerland, they'll ask, where is the certificate from this organization? And you may end up losing the seed in Switzerland until the stamp of approval has been given. That said, others go through other countries, they sell the seed, but where you may get $18,000 per hectare, this is just an example, 18,000 per hectare, this crop, others are willing to even pay 10,000, 12,000. You lose out. But when you go to the actual international market, you are supposed to get probably $18,000 and more. So if somebody goes behind thinking, oh, Cabinet team and the people are not doing their best, they'll end up losing. This is why we want to make sure, like you said, people have got to be trained, people have got to be educated into this, how to come up with the crop, the rich yield. However, that said, by the special grace of God, with some cooperating partners, and as we work with the government, we will be able, certainly, to distribute seed to all the markets in Zambia, God willing, to all the markets. Every calculation has been made, but here is a rough calculation, Mr. Yuri. And this is based on facts. If there are 30,000 Zambians who have land to 1,000 hectares, they come on board to get this seed. It's just an example. I'm not putting the actual for the sake of our people there. But the figure that I'm quoting is the best, it's a minimum of what they are supposed to get. If 30,000 farmers, they register with Cabinet and they come up and they show us their land, for 30,000 farmers with 1,000 hectares, Mr. Yui, this is $540 billion US for the economy. And this is not an estimation, and many people have been calling Cabinet to say, Pastor, what's the seed? What's the seed? It's for fear, like I explained to you, that in Zambia there are those who, like you said, who believe in quick fix. They go and import this seed from India, this seed from Brazil. It doesn't have the content which the international market are looking for. So we are saying, after we have put everything down together, let's come together and we go as a nation. I believe with all my heart, Mr. Yui, that by the grace of God, Zambia can come out of debt by us Zambians, not borrowing the money. Your land, my land, his land, her land, we come together. We can become a force to reckon with. And that money will be divided amongst ourselves. So there will be no need. You, Mr. Yui, you will find another project in Western Province. Cashew nuts are coming from there. You may end up buying another land to produce cashew nuts. I'll find the land in Chinsali. Somebody will find the land in Mongo, Kaoma. We diversify. So my prayer to God for Zambia, like you said, is that we be patient and just look at this thing objectively, that all of us go into agriculture. Because, may God help us, if we all just made up our mind pastor, bishop, deacon, what? We say, let's go together. We can improve this nation. And the money that we are talking about here, like Kembo said when he came 2 weeks ago, this is a $90 billion industry for Zambia. $90 billion divided by those people that have got land. You find somebody's got 1 million, others have got 75 million, others have got 140 million, but we are Zambians. So I am so grateful to have people like you come on board and say, Pastor, let's see how we plan for the nation. But tell me, what are some of the challenges that you have faced in Outgrower Scheme? Because my wife and I and our team, we are just going there blindly and by faith and as pastors. You have already gone before us. And this is why I do not want to make mistakes. And for the information of the people there, like yourself and many others, we have said we'll constitute a national committee so that everything becomes overboard. It becomes credible. But what are some of the challenges have you faced with the Outgrower schemes?
Thank you very much, Pastor. One of the challenges, one of the many challenges that we faced, first and foremost, was the correct information out there. Our people, so many projects have come. There was, at one point, there was Jathropa. At another point, there was Paprika. At another point, there's been different projects. People have come. They've talked very well, and they've told the people have come in numbers. Some have even started growing and have gotten land. Unfortunately, in one way or the other, these projects have disappeared. Some projects, people have grown, there's nobody to buy. Others, people have come, they've said, prepare this, do this, pay this, and they have disappeared. This has been, so when you first engage with the people, the first question they would ask is, it has happened before. And we've lost land, we've lost money, we have grown, and people have disappeared. What difference will it make this time? Now, when people give you 5 examples, real examples that have happened, then they're asking you, what difference will it make now?
It's like these products that came, you know, when they came, the golden products, I come to sell to you, and you know, when those things came, I don't know how many people have approached me from different companies, all of them promising huge profits, which are not there. Some people have gone crying because they were told. I understand what you are saying.
So, first and foremost, that is, and you can understand from the people's point of view. They have seen these things come. Now the question is, what difference will this make? At the same time, the fact that these have happened, people have been, others have been crooked, others have been, the market disappeared. The fact that all these have happened is a reality out there. It does not mean that Camnet should not go. Camnet should still go and talk to the people and tell the people why it is different from whatever the situation they could have found themselves. 1. 2, consistency and packaging of the information will be very important. And then 3, government certification. Once government has, because government is big, it has several facets, and it will check to make sure this whole thing is not a hoax.
A scam, yeah.
It's a genuine thing. By the time government gives the certification and endorsement, that is one of the approvals that can go out there and say, this, we've gotten the certification from government. Also, the involvement of the government extension system, because they are the ones that have the whole line up to the last mile.
Like what, Mr. Yu?
Government system, government extension system. They have the extension officers. They have the camp officers in respective locations. The whole country is divided. I think the smallest unit must be a camp. So a camp officer under him has a certain number of cooperatives and farmers. There are farmers who are registered with government. There are those that are not, but they are farmers. So for a project like this one, registration will be key. Proof of ownership of land will be key. The involvement of traditional leadership will be key. The involvement of government, Ministry of Agriculture, Extension Department, and cooperative, Ministry of Commerce cooperatives, it will be key. So that when information is flowing through, it is standardized. And it is the same if you hear it from Mongu, you hear it from Kaoma, you hear it from Solwezi, you hear it from Chinsali, it's the same.
And the price
is the same.
Not like a mini meal. This side is so that this.
So that's some of the challenges. Two, the other challenge that we saw in when we were developing our outgrower scheme was the non-availability of seed. Lucky in this instance, the seeds it's going to be in abundance.
Yes, it will.
The question is just the availability of land.
Land, yeah.
So in our case, when we were developing, we had to move cassava cuttings from Mansa Samfia to Kaoma and Kalumbira. And at that time, there were disturbances in DRC. So we were going around through Katiri. You can imagine the distance. You are moving this to go and plant that side. So it pushes the cost of production.
I know.
And also, so in this instance, where seed is guaranteed, so it solves one of the major problems. That's one. Proof of ownership of land. Because I assume, I'm not very privileged to how the conditions are going to be, but I assume first condition is someone should have proof of land.
In fact, this is what we are working on very much. All the people that have submitted their land, we are noticing that there are two types.
Yes.
One traditional, one on title. One traditional. And now on those ones on title, you wonder whether the chief consented or something. So it will take minds like yourselves and the committee for us to come up with the genuineness of this land, because some of it may be fake. It may be stolen. You waste the seed on someone who doesn't have the land. Yeah. So what you are saying, it's very...
Yeah. So then, because having worked in Ministry of Lands for 16 years, for those that have title, the assumption is that the process starts with the chief, then the council, the respective council in the location, and then the actual endorsement from Ministry of Lands. For those, now the challenge may be for those who have customary land. Though right now there are a few players that have come on the market who are able to define a parcel. It shows the correct extent, the location, and then this can help the traditional authorities in actually just confirming that Lubasiyui is in my chiefdom, is occupying this piece of land.
Yeah.
Yes. After outside this show, I will be able to share with you some of those people that are on the ground working on those ones. That's one. And then two, when I listened to the presentation that Israel Kembo did, I heard he talked about the different agroecological zones for different crops.
That's right.
There was one that needed high rain for 1,200 millimeters and above, which is more northern, northwestern. And then there's another one which could do well in the arid areas, parts of western, southern. So designation of crops by the agroecological zone will be key, because it will help in productivity. There are certain crops that, let's say for instance, in northwestern province, 3 days ago, I was getting information that roads are getting flooded because it's still raining heavily.
It's raining there?
Yes. I remember somebody sent me a picture of an excavator which actually sank because of too much water. That was 2 days ago.
Really?
Yes. So it's still raining heavily there. Now, if you are going to plant maize seed, which has 90 days to mature, and you go and plant it there, with the rain for that is over 140 days, it will end up rotting in the.
I'm telling you.
So, agroecological alignment of the crop to ensure higher productivity and maximum yield will be key. And this is where Ministry of Agriculture will come in handy. And then the other issue was the absence of bulking centers. So even as you roll out this project, ensure that different farmers have a centralized bulking point, which will be a delivery point, a distribution point, and bulking for. Because say for instance you have farmers who are in Chongwe, others are in Kafiwe, and if the bulking center is in Kabwe, so you'll find that these that are in these other far-flung areas, they may fail to transport their produce or to come and collect their seed on time. Because in agriculture, timing is very important. You do not have the luxury of time to say, okay, I can wait for another 2-3 weeks. The more days you wait, it reduces the yield. If the training will say plant between 1 and 4, ensure you plant within those times. Now, for you to achieve such precision, seed must be available at centralized locations in different locations. It will come here in Lusaka, then it will go to various locations. Then also in harvest time, because even harvesting, I'm sure they are going to specify how to harvest, how to package it. It should be able to be harvested and packaged and brought to a point where it can now be picked. So the issue of bulking centers, it will be very key. Also the organization of the farmers, because you are not going to manage to be answering to every farmer, because you spend your whole time attending to them.
But where will you be, Mr. Yui? And our team.
Even the team will be overwhelmed. So what needs to be done is to form these people into clusters. We have to reorient them from cooperatives of receiving fertilizer to cooperatives of productive.
I'm telling you.
Cooperatives of productive ideas and being able to disseminate information. And the leadership they will choose will be properly trained, and if possible, they should be shown this is the crop that we are talking about. This is what it is. Seeing is believing for a farmer. They've heard too many stories. But when a few of them have seen, they've seen
the seed,
then it will be fire.
In fact, this track that is coming, Mr. Yui, the seed will only be confined to 200 farmers. 200 farmers, probably those that can make the grounds ready, not those that will say, wait until I finish harvesting maize, then I'll start planting. No. As it rolls in, we would like to say, okay, Mr. Yui, you have qualified. Here's the seed. And the land be inspected. Otherwise, like you are saying, it doesn't make economical sense to keep the seed for 1 year. To say, I'll come and plant
next year.
You know, what you mentioned, if you are told plant on this date, it must be there.
Yes.
Because I heard Campbell saying that, Pastor, we need to bring the seed that before June we plant it, because it may not do well when it's very cold. So we have to plant before. By the time the cold season is over, 3 months after, people will start getting some few harvests. So we cannot go in June when it's freezing, you plant. It may be a sheer waste of time. So this is why people like you, Mr. Yui, the Bible is very clear it says, let each man abide in his calling. I am not a farmer, but God has given my wife and I the grace to connect with people that can make Mr. Yui a superpower in this nation. So utilizing that grace, you, me, and us, we make a team, we will succeed. And this is one reason why, Mr. Yui, my wife and I refused that we start on ourselves first. Yes, it would have been good by now. We could have been showing the people on Camnet, or this is our crop. I know what I'm talking about. We could have been getting ready, to get some money. But the money that is involved in it, Mr. Yui, it's like somebody says, no, I've killed this elephant, so I'll eat it alone with my wife. Is that a rabbit? It's an elephant. Share with your fellow villagers. So we are not talking about rabbits or these Easterners who like imbeba. You can eat 6 of them and enjoy the meal. But this is one reason why, Mr. Yui, we should develop, I like what you said, cooperative of the mind, being innovative. What are we going to do? I am not a farmer, but since this project came, I tell you, my mind and that of my wife, we are thinking at a different level because we've been exposed to issues that we never knew from the pulpit. And this is why I've said to my fellow pastors, it doesn't matter which denomination, whether you are Catholic, you are Baptist, what, my wife and I will never segregate. We look at the bigger picture, as Zambia. If that church can do well, that church can do well. I think it's about Zambia, not about the Chiluba,
Yeah, Pastor. One good thing I should commend you is that I think it's high time as Zambians we used our different capabilities to deliver a Zambian project. Zambian minds should meet and deliver a Zambian. We shouldn't expect.
I like that.
We should not expect somebody of a different color or somebody with a different name from what you and me have.
Absolutely.
We should be able now to say, okay, this is a Zambian dream, Zambian idea, and it should be delivered by Zambians. To the people who are going to be part and parcel of this program, I would want to urge them to ensure they do their due diligence and make sure that they hold this opportunity with both hands. A lot of projects have failed simply because they start the outgrower, the money runs out. Or they start the outgrower, the market is not there. And then I don't know whether, Pastor, there's when I was listening to Israel's presentation, there's going to be different types of people. There are those that will be able to afford to buy the seed. Then there are those that may have the land but may not have the capacity to buy the seed. Is there a provision that the seed can be input loan can be given to such people?
What it is, Mr. Kemba, it's a very good question. Like I said, that my wife and I are connected to some good partners out there. When this dream was shared with me, and immediately the picture of Zambia came to my mind, we were able to approach our friend in Japan if they can release X millions of dollars so that we implement. Because this project, it is the first time it's being handled at national level. The gentleman was in another country, I won't mention. The man, when he saw the millions that came into his bosom, he kicked out the dreamer, thinking I can do it. And when that dreamer left, the millions he amassed up to now, they keep on dwindling because it doesn't have, like you said, the market, where to sell it. It doesn't have the know-how. Went into another country again, some politicians tried to champion this and shut it down. So my wife and I made it a national dream, knowing that at some point the government will say, Pastor Chuba, bring your hand. We'll work with you. You are a kid. Let's work with you and government and bring this dream together. So what I'm saying is, should the government and yourselves we come together, the document has already been pushed there, well accepted. I can't mention the figure, but there could be enough seed to be bought to distribute to all the people that have applied. But again, this will be dependent on the response also, like you said, from the government. Because this project, you don't want to just implement it.
Yes.
Some people, Mr. Yui, they are politically corrupt. When I say politically corrupt, to hear a dream like this one, the next thing, Pastor Chua wants to stand as the president, even when you are just contributing as a citizen. Like in police, I'm told you can effect a citizen's arrest. If there is something wrong, you can arrest somebody. Does that mean you want to become Kanganji, Inspector General of Police? So because of those who are politically corrupt, would like to save them, that let's work together as a nation and have this dream. Look at this, Mr. Yui. You are Lozi.
Yes.
I'm Bemba.
Yes.
You and I have clicked. There is no political tension between you and me. There is no tribal tension between you and me. What we have here is the nation.
Yes.
And we are moving as brothers.
Yes.
So what makes people to bring these divisions? Some of it is poverty.
Yes.
And some of it is ignorance. But if Zambia comes together and we grow together, I can tell you that even this dancing, cadalism, will come to an end. Because every cadre will be busy in his field.
Thanks very much, Pastor. Now, you talked about 200 initial
farmers to be given, yeah.
So those will be taken on based on first come, first serve? Or what criteria or the committee will look at?
I wanted to say, why don't we sit
down
and because if I start offloading, my wife and I, if we sit the two of us, I can tell you, all the 200 will be bishops.
Yes.
Will be bishops and pastors. That's how far we can go.
Yeah.
But if we sit together as a national committee, without looking at which tribe are you from, what are your qualifications, if we can do that in a transparent manner with our lawyers and everything, this thing, like you said, it will give credibility. Not only on CAMNET, but on the whole company as we begin to operate in Zambia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think on the government's point of the framework that is there in terms of diversification, I think they are very clear that agriculture is the way to go. In this instance, the way I've understood the interactions I've had with you about this project, all it needs from government is blessing.
Simply that, yeah.
Which I'm sure you've been having discussions with government, and I'm very positive that government would open its doors, because in the 7th National Development Plan, job creation is key. Poverty reduction is key. We're supposed to be a middle income by 2030. We're only remaining with 10 years. Some of the when I had a Kembo talk, some of these crops are tree crops that have a cover, and meaning they come in very handy. When we look at the president's speech in Parliament, he talked about how devastating the issue of environmental issues of environment are. And the project that comes to try and solve some of those, this becomes the mitigation measures. You are solving the environment issue, you are solving the income issue, you are solving the job creation issue. You are solving so many things using one crop. And because of that, I see that for government, actually, it is a plus, because it will be delivering on its proposed programs very easily, especially that this investment that is coming is end to end. It's tight.
Absolutely.
It's tied from seed patenting, for the sales, but everything else is all end to end in a tied fashion. And the contribution of Zambia is the Zambians with their individual private land.
Absolutely. And the good thing, Mr. Yuya, I must hasten to say here, that one of the things that my wife and I did was to, first of all, run to our parents, the chiefs for their blessings. Because here's what I believe. If Chief Yui, under the Litunga there, I'm using you as a chief.
Yes.
You have 10,000 hectares of land. You as a chief, you are concerned with your subjects there. That $18,000, $18,000 say per hectare. I'm just using it as an example, If you get it on 10,000 hectares of land, we will find that you are sitting on $18 million or 180 million US dollars, which the government has no strength, financial strength, to give one chief that money. But when you have it, you'll be able to build the clinic without crying to the government, because those are your people. You know the area well. You say, I want one clinic in Limulunga, I want one in there, and another one there. You are the chief. So once the chiefs are empowered, that will lead to national development. And secondly, like we said, if churches are empowered, most of us pastors, Mr. Yui, we preach knowing that if I say this, Mr. Yui will come and close my church. So even where you are wrong, I am failing to come out. I'm just saying, oh, God bless Mr. Yui. It should not be so. What the church should come to is to a place of authority.
Yes.
When something is wrong, it's wrong.
Yes.
You don't beat about the bush. Even if they say, okay, close the church because there is coronavirus, you know that you can have money in the account to play golf or go to Kariba Dam and drive your boat. Why? Because you are financially empowered. But the church, Mr. Yuri, including myself, us as clergy, we are way out there, which is not supposed to be so. You people as technocrats, the politicians and everyone, you have a church you go to. And the pastor should be able to preach and advise you without fear or without pleading with you that you may leave the church, to deliver things. So this project, I believe, like I've always said, Mr. Yui, I said it to you, that I believe that this project will be a game changer for Zambia. I know now we are talking, it hasn't been implemented, but I believe it's a game changer.
Pastor, I believe the biggest challenge, I've been around the agribusiness. I found myself in agribusiness by default. Because I was working for Ministry of Lands, and then there was a massive displacement for development of the mine. Now, in every day trying to go there, I discovered that those people that were displaced by the mine, how were we going to work on their livelihood? And it turned out that one of the things that we looked at was the cassava that they are growing as a staple food. And how do we work around this cassava to make starch that will work as a reagent for mineral processing? It started from there, the interactions. And eventually, you start now building and understanding. And you spend 5 years developing this whole thing. And the success of every agribusiness is the market.
The market.
In this instance, where you're coming with the market first, then work backwards.
The market is already
60%.
there.
60% of the job is done. What remains is Zambians to come up and hold the mantle and say we are ready. Also, the fact that this project delivers on a lot of multiple fronts that government wants to do. Our economy has become so vulnerable because of importing too much and at the same time just exporting limited commodities. Now, if a project like this one, which I think the market is out there, isn't it?
It's out there.
If the market is out there, it means when people, when they are paying, when they are buying the crop from here, they are buying using our Zambian. They change their dollars to our Zambian kwacha and buy. And
what it is the according to the document that I have, those that will qualify will give us two accounts. Either they be paid in kwacha or in dollars, if the government allows. The buyers there will be sending the check into your dollar account or kwacha account. So the choice is yours.
Okay.
Like we said, the market here is not a problem. We just want to harness the people with land and make sure that, because one of the things that I've seen, and my wife keeps on saying this, that, us Zambians, sometimes we build castles in the air. Once you tell somebody you'll be getting this, they'll go and borrow money and say, after this year, I would bring this. Suppose it rains like you have said, where the excavator sinks and your crop sinks. In the meantime, you have borrowed.
Yes.
So I like what you said, that we've got to educate. We've got to tell the people all that we are doing. It won't just come like
Overnight,
this.
yes.
We've got to plan it so well. So the market is there. Everything is just dependent on our mind.
Yeah.
And this is one reason why, Mr. Yui, the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. When my wife and I sit in our two chairs here, we say you were born for greatness. In each one of us, there is that DNA of greatness. But what stops us from going higher is our thinking capacity. Because once you go, like someone has said, ETC means the end of thinking capacity. When you go at that level, you think you can't achieve that, then you are digging your own grave. I believe that I will live to see Zambia, by the grace of God, become like one of Dubai or European countries, because we have what it takes.
Yes.
We have the rains, we have this, we have... Mr. Yui, if we put our minds together without championing and quarreling over which party you belong to, we put our minds together, we can transform this nation.
The starting point, of course, is always an idea. And the faith that you have of the idea, that in itself is enough energy to get this idea going. The bonus part of it is that the president of the seed, because this is a patented seed.
Yes,
the president of the seed
is part of
the whole thing. The market
is part of
the whole
yes,
thing.
yes.
So for me, when I look at it from that angle, it solves 60-70% of the whole issue. What remains is just the on our side here as in the Zambians. The good thing is that the aggregators is not going to be, oh, okay, so Cabinet has left people to aggregate, and no. It will be cradled to the grave.
That's right.
So Cabinet will be there from registration
to harvesting.
And
I must say that, Mr. Yui, one of the things our friends, the same people are bringing the seed, what they want to do is to help us to establish a very big processing plant like Amanita. You see, Amanita and all these plants. We're going to come up with one of the largest processing plant, if not in Southern Africa, maybe in Africa. as a nation.
Okay.
And once we do that, it adds to the value of what we are doing here than selling just a seed.
Yeah.
Once we process and send the finished product, Zambia will be in serious money.
Okay, I know, having worked for Ministry of Lands, having worked for government for 16 years, in each province, government has farm blocks whose size is 100,000 hectares. Every province has that.
I was told by Zambia Development Agency that they have 100,000 hectares
in each
province.
Yes. And this is the more reason why I'm very confident that it's just fitting in the jigsaw puzzles. Because when you look at these farm blocks, I may not be an authority on them and their success, but I think they must be only a quarter utilized, if not less.
Why did you quit Ministry of Agriculture? Sitting down with you from this interview, you could have said, Pastor, 700,000 hectares, you use it. Let's change the nation.
I think, Pastor, it has given me an insight of what is where.
Yeah.
So when projects of this nature come, we should be able to say, oh, okay, through these established government systems, these resettlement schemes are falling under Vice President's office. And Vice President's office, I remember last year's trade fair, they are trying to find a way of making the resettlement schemes productive. The original concept of resettlement scheme of Kambirombiro, whereby you take retirees,
and
where it's for retirees to go, and I think that also, leaving the resettlement scheme, the concept has changed. We have miners former Mo's farm in Mufria, which was given to the miners who were retrenched or who were in one way or the other stopped working. Now the government has all these projects where farmers were given land so that they become productive. And now the question that comes is, there's resettlement schemes there. There's these farmers for ex-miners. Land already given. They already have the land. It was already demarcated and given to them. Right now, we have a partnership with the ex-miners association on the Copperbelt, where we had a presentation to them. They brought in their cooperatives, where ideas of this nature can be sold to them. They scrutinize. If it makes sense, they help their farmers.
Don't say can be. You and I, we should start saying we will. We will tell truth.
Thank you very much.
Because we have begun the journey.
Yes.
We must be able to.
Yes. So these are their leaders have got a very innovative leadership that is looking out for what is it that we can do to ensure we engage our ex-miners. So all these become productive assets, land and the individuals, because we now move out from the Kambirombiro type, where when you retire, that's when you go to a settlement scheme that is far away from the market.
And when you retire, your strength is gone.
It's gone.
Even the enthusiasm to be monitoring the workers
is gone. So this time we are having people that are either not necessarily retiring, but their jobs being terminated at a very early stage.
I know that.
I saw from some government document where government has a very robust projects for the youth to make them productive. I saw some document that was looking at that, and then this becomes opportunities, because it's a fact that formal employment is reducing by the day.
I'm telling you,
formal employment is reducing by the day.
And Kembo said the next set of billionaires will come from agriculture. You agree with him?
Yes, because the president for African Development Bank, Dr. Desina, stated that, and he was very clear with agriculture. Agriculture definitely, agribusiness is the way to go, because the population is increasing. So the world will have to feed, and it will have to utilize agriculture for industrial movement of so many things. Now, Africa, we are very lucky that we have the rains, we have the people, we have the land. Zambia, I think other than the towns out there, the density probably is 3 people per square kilometer.
You know what, Mr. Yui? Let's take a break without my director giving us songs. They will just give us some adverts and we look at that, then we come back. I would like us to open up the lines so that people like you out there can help us strategize, because not even with your experience can you marshal the whole Zambia without assistance. Do you understand some bit of Bemba?
Yes, yes.
Do you know what lice is in Bemba? Lice,
Yes.
Those insects which bite and they keep you busy even in the night.
Yes.
You know, in Bemba, there is a saying that umunwe umo, tausalenda. You can't pick lice with one finger. Yes. You need two. Even in the head, you need to locate. You used to. So, and the Bible says two are better than one. In other words, no single person in this world, Mr. Yui, can drive a vision, no matter how powerful. Even Bill Gates needs workers. Everyone, you may have the dream, but every project to succeed, me as a pastor, we need teamwork. Look at this church we have built, Mr. Yui. We have not even received $1 single from America. But when people enter in there, they think I receive millions of dollars from America. No, I don't. Because we are a team. Church members, they believe in my wife and I, and we are not moving at a faster pace, but we are moving. And things can be visible. You know, so I believe that in this nation, Mr. Yui, we need to come up with a team without saying I, me, and myself. But when we say we together with the government and everyone, the church, civil society, will succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
so let's pick up. Let's be on a break and allow our Camnet TV viewers to call, because they may have questions for you, clarifications, so that we can be able to clarify. Thank you, Camnet TV viewers. Please keep watching Camnet TV, because Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Limited, keeping you first and ahead in business. Franco provides one-stop automated solution for your trade and industry. We have different products and services to meet your requirements in computing and information technologies services, consultancy and development, marketing, advertising, public relations and media consultancy, strategy planning, assessment, procurement, re-engineering solutions, planning audits, Level 1 and 2 desktop support, network maintenance and troubleshooting, or network setup 1 and LAN design, network security and threat management solution, disaster recovery and storage management solution, hardware sales and support services, servers, computers, computer accessories, Cisco switch, structure cabling system, wireless and routers, antivirus, equipment maintenance, web development and design, database management and programming. We are located at 10 Chinundu Road, Woodlands Extension, Lusaka. Email info@franco-limited.com or contact us on +260 955 095 301 or +260 977 798 218. Franco Technologies Limited, keeping you first and ahead in business.
the Healing Word Ministries International, 2020 is a year of elevation. Every Sunday of January is marked by Jehovah for your blessings and elevation. Join Pastors Victoria and Moses Chiluba every 9 hours to 11 hours for the anointed service. Make this month, every Sunday, count as a family, as an individual, and indeed as a nation. You are born for greatness. Your divine encounter with destiny, your set time of favor and elevation is now. See you this Sunday.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jehovah.
Dear Camnet TV viewers, welcome back. I'm in the studio with Mr. Lubas Yui, who is the CEO of what company again?
Premiercon Starch Company Limited.
Premiercon Starch Company Limited. And he's not just an expert in how to grow a scheme, he's got the experience. For how many years have you been working with the people in the Northwestern?
6 years.
Northwestern and Western, or
We're Northwestern, Western, Central, Lapula, and Copperbelt 5.
so you can hear that massive experience. Our lines are open. We've got few minutes to allow you, Team Camnet, for you to ask questions, to interact with us. Send the messages on the numbers that you will see. Our director will be able to send the numbers to you. Let me wait for my director to give me the numbers. Then I'll tell you, because some of you, when you see the 3 numbers on Camnet TV, you call one of the 3 and you say, Pastor, we are not getting to you. There is only one for the studio and one for outside the studio. Mr. Director, may I have the numbers, the telephone numbers for the people to reach us? If I can, please. Thank you. You'll be able to reach us on these numbers, and we'll wait for the director. But while we are waiting for the director to give the nation the numbers, Mr. Yui, I think what we have explained here, we have taken the economy into consideration. We have also taken the employment situation and other issues into consideration. What sector have we left out?
I think we have not really zeroed down to the participation of women in this project. The success of any outgrower scheme lies in integrity, honesty, and the follow detail. In our interactions and our course of duty in the outgrower schemes, we find that women tend to, when they agree, they normally stick to what you have agreed.
When they agree.
And this project, women should also seize it when it starts rolling, in the sense that precision, where you give women to weed and where you give men to weed, you will notice that women will do it perfectly,
far much
better. Now, because we are talking about precision and we are talking about international market, international market has specifications. So I would encourage a lot of women to participate, because naturally they are more prone to detail than men. And an outgrower scheme has detail because it specifies that which should be done when.
That's right.
Yes. Whereas men, they might first of all decide to go do betting before they deal with. So for
now that you are just accusing us as one Mr. But I hear you that women are more detailed individuals, and whatever they do, like in this regard, they do it with their hearts and with details. But I think, in my view, like you have rightly said, this project, Mr. Yui, will impact so much on women. Let's pick up this call first. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. Who is calling? Kabasolukwesa.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead and speak to the nation.
Yeah, I'm very grateful and I'm very happy that the church, we are now taking our position and that the leading role you're getting some of these projects.
Amen.
I've been telling you that over this, and even on the channel coming TV,
Yes, sir.
we're bringing up very, very educative programs to the nation.
Amen.
And it's very, very good program, and I like it because it's not just saying hallelujah all the time. It's also take the word into economic factors of the nation.
Yes, sir.
As we are taking up this program.
Amen.
And that's all it's very, very educative to bring on the product is very insightful. We use the experience as an agro business. Which as we put up together this program, as a nation, I'm sure we'll go very far.
Amen.
I just want to pass the recommendation to you that
Amen.
we are doing a very good job. Thank you very much.
Now, before you hang, Mr. Kabaso, have you registered the land with Camnet TV?
Yeah, in fact, I even came through and spoke to my sister Kabila, and we had a very good chat because actually I'm a surveyor by profession. And even trying to say that we are teaching us this very also because land is done there, there's just a process which we are done that we don't follow keenly to get that right. Whereas our friends Chinese we even get it because they follow it very keenly.
Absolutely.
Which means that they don't have. Which with the government if they relax and put up softer measures for Zambia to acquire, I think we should be able to go forward. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Kabaso. Please give me a text also on the number on the middle and refresh my mind once again. But we are very grateful. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Amen. One of the things that he has raised, Mr. Yui, and this has been my concern. I was speaking to one of the Chinese guys. Not that I have anything against China. I learn a lot from them. You know that in China you are not allowed to buy land, whether you are a millionaire.
yes.
You can't buy land, not even a house. And not only that, the company for cigarettes, like cigarettes, there is no private company that can invest in tobacco and cigarettes in China. That is a government because that's where they get revenue. And there are certain things that the government will not just allow. But look at this. Chinese are coming into Zambia, acquiring massive land. And we are okay with it. Anyone can come from Germany, from where the first thing, because they know that Zambians, sorry to use this word, Zambians, they tend to be, the ones if you like, they tend to be down on the issue of land. They don't see the value of land. When a foreigner comes, the first thing is, even before he finds a house, he will look for a land. He will look for land, buy it, while a Zambian is busy taking pizzas and ice cream. He has not even been to his village to ask the chief for a land.
These things, Pastor, they come with...
Let's take up this call first, Mr. Yu. You finish what you are saying. Hello, good evening.
How are you, Pastor?
Permanently blessed. Who is calling and where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from within Kablonga near the church.
Hello?
Hello, this is Bishop Kriswan. I'm calling from Kablonga just near the church.
Now you are calling from Kablonga Mishek. You don't even come to church. You are just calling from near the church. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, thank you. I've been following the program. I've been following the program.
Yes, sir.
Yes, even though I move a lot, so but wherever I go, I do follow the program. Even in the family program, when the time started, I'll be following the. I send a text sometime back. I never got to. I never sent the reply.
The reason why you never received the reply, Mishek, just as well you have raised that question. You know, without exaggeration, every single day we are receiving about 200-300 text messages. To respond to each one of them, it's a challenge. And not only that, because those people who want land or who want to partner with Camnet TV, you find that while we are taking the details, another one is calling, another message is coming in. So they switch off the phone maybe for 3, 4, 5 hours to take the details and then open it up. So if you don't receive the response, it's not that we haven't captured the details. The only people we have not captured the details are those who send, okay, I'm Mr. Yui, I've got land, call me back. Those we don't respond to. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Mishek.
Yes, but I have a land in Chiwombo. Yes, in which I would like to partner with the family program with the Camnet TV.
But have you sent the details, Mr. Mishek?
Not yet. That's when I was trying so that I can see how I can send the details and so on.
You see, you are the people that are delaying us.
I see.
Use that number on the middle, 0962 965 883. Give us your name, the size of the land, where the land is, and whether it's on title or traditional. Those 4 details are important. And of course, your name. Send there while the line is still open, because after we finish this program, you may find that it will be off again.
Thank you. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr.
Yes, I was talking about these things come with sensitization. It's a phase. You talked about in the Kaunda time, land didn't have value. Then came the Chilua time. We are learning these things the hard way. But then it is programs of this nature that needs to also open up eyes for the many Zambians that the greatest asset a nation has 2 things, land and its people.
Absolutely.
So if we can guard this jealously, then we'll be home and dry. We should reach a point where all this land that is in Zambia is owned by Zambians, but we can sublet it. Not whereby we give out everything. Because we, as a people also, we have a problem. Because we get and we sell. We get and we sell.
There is a caller, Mr. Yuri. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Chuba. Good evening, my big man to the next, with Pastor Chuba.
Mr. Yuri.
Mr. Yuri, yes.
Novas, yes.
Good evening.
Yes. I'm Chelangi, Everett, calling you from Chavuma.
Chelangi?
Yes, calling you from Chavuma.
Mr. Chelangi, please go ahead and speak to the nation.
Yes, I'm blessed today. I found you on the line. I'm blessed this evening. I'm so happy. Yes, sir. I'm Chavuma. I said I'm update about this program. I'm talking about the land.
Yes, sir.
About the land. I attended the interview here in Chavuma.
for the council, and then I was given the number of the operator.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that is 50 by 50, that the owner of the action for this coin is costing us 7,000. And I'm yet to pay for the council, and the council is a small town council. Yes, that the operator has been given and it's costing us 7,000. So I don't know how this can help me to get that. If I haven't yet paid that 7,000, I'm yet to pay. It's 50 by 50.
Well, it's not me who can register, and I can't help you. It's you who knows the land, and it's you who knows where Chavuma is. All we need are your details. You say Mr. Chalengi. You say I'm Mr. Chalengi from Chavuma. I have 50 by 50 hectares or acres or whatever it is. And then you send the text through that number on the middle. Then the people will capture it and they will put it on the list.
Thank you so much.
Before you go off the line, you are talking about a 50 by 50.
A 50 by 50?
Did I hear 50 by 50?
50 by 60.
50 by 60.
Oh, I thought it was 50 hectares.
No. So that is actually more of a residential plot.
Yeah, no, that's a residential
What you may need to do while you are in Chavuma there, try and identify, because 50 by 60 is a very small piece of land.
No, it's a very small piece of land. Yeah.
But while you are there, you can try to identify where there's available land that is slightly bigger. Because 50 by 60 is a residential plot. So for agricultural purposes, and even the zoning, I'm sure the zoning for where you are, it
may not be allowed
appropriate. But you can. I know the district commissioner for Chavuma is a very good man, Mr. Mfunga. Go and visit him and tell him you want to participate.
That's right.
He may guide you as to probably there could be some available land in Chavuma for the settlement scheme, or maybe the council. But they'll give you the correct advice.
Amen.
Okay, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. Oh, I'm a blessed person. Please keep on praying for us, Pastor Kiruba. We love you. TV.
Yes, sir.
Yes, even my mom. Send my greetings to her.
I will do that. Thank you, Mr. Chalengi. God bless you. Thank you that you heard that. I thought my mind registered 750 hectares.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't understand that it was 50 by 50.
Yeah, it is this kind of sensitization also that now people need to know that for you to do agriculture, you need to you see your mindset should be, his mindset is already prepared.
That's right.
He wants to go in all the energy.
Yes.
But then the execution will fail.
Yes.
Because the piece of land is very small.
Yeah.
So with these kind of interactions, the people also have to start positioning to say, since my mindset is game, let me now go to the next stage. Land. What land are we talking about? How accessible is this land? How do I start? The first caller who called, who was a surveyor, talked about procedures. How do you now regularize the ownership?
That's right.
Because where we are going, you can imagine you've gotten seed and you've invested there, and someone produces type for the land you have invested. You lose out.
This is it. Yes.
So the first thing is identify where you want to go to. Start the process of ownership. Ensure that if it's in a traditional area, ensure you visit the headman who will take you to the chief, so that it's clear that it's you. And you should start the process of actually going to acquire title.
Yeah. Because
where we are going, there's a lot of people there's a land rush.
Yeah.
So people should learn to now secure and get title.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that information. Mr. Director, please give us some text messages if there are people that have sent good evening, Dad and Mr. Yui. Thank you for this wonderful program. My question is to those who have, it's supposed to be virgin land, And you say the plant is suitable to plant before June. Now, do such people qualify to the first 200 people? If such people don't have anything to start from but have a big land, what are you making out of this, Mr. Yu? Keep that text there.
Yeah, I think this question is those that have virgin land, and then they may have virgin land.
Yeah.
The plant is suitable to plant before June. Now, such people qualify to the first. Those that have virgin land, do they qualify to the first 200, the ones that you mentioned?
Certainly not, because it will need cultivating,
clearing, yes.
Clearing and everything.
Yes.
If they have got 100 bulldozers and tractors to do it overnight, they can qualify. But in this case, I don't think one can qualify like that. You need to be ready.
But I think to that's the gentleman that sent the text. The journey of 1,000 miles started with the first step.
That's right, yeah.
So all he needs to do is start now the process. Start the process.
That's right. What are the requirements for one to register for seed? And where do I send my application? Well, you use the number on the middle, which is 0962. Mr. Director, give us that number. 0962 965 883. If you register your name, the land, the size of the land, and where it is located, that is the first step. That's the number one step. Then CamNet TV will capture your details. Thank you. May we have another text message, Mr. Director? Good evening, Pastor and Mr. Yui. I've registered on this program and I've been following, with the explanation from the officer that the government has those huge hectares of land. Won't this disadvantage some of us? I also heard you say that land has to be prepared before June. Can we start now or until you get feedback from you, Mrs. CC in Mufrira?
I think it will not disadvantage because, like for instance, the farm which I mentioned, which is in Mufrira for ex-miners, it was a former Mine Workers Union of Zambia farm. It's a very big farm.
Yeah.
And I think for Copper Belt, their resettlement scheme is in Lufanyama and not Mufrira. But my advice, I think, to the lady from Mufrira is that, it's not a matter of availability of land. There's a lot of land around Zambia, that utilization is lacking.
Yeah.
Since she has made up her mind, she wants to participate. All she needs to do is just ensure that she should stand up and be counted.
Absolutely.
Do your registration with CamNet. Do your part. Do your registration. Be able to give the 4 parameters that CamNet is requesting. And you see, some of these things, when you hear them, you've heard the train is running. It's moving.
Absolutely.
Things are happening.
Absolutely.
So what you need to do is pick up yourself, do your necessary registration, keep knocking. Be the first one in Mufrira if you did. If you are going to sit and say, because there's an ex-miners mine in Mufrira, the Kito Mufrira Council has created land. No. It won't disadvantage. Do your part. If it's 1 hectare, do it. If it's 100 hectare, do it. Do what you can. No, because if you start looking at doing business because the other person is doing it, you may be discouraged or you may feel disadvantaged.
Absolutely.
But if you do it right, all it needs is do it right.
Absolutely.
And you stand up and be counted. That's all.
Absolutely. And the other thing she mentioned, Mr. Yui, is the example we gave that growing it in June may not be, it's not that it can't grow. If you have super irrigation system, you can grow it even in June. This is where now Mr. Yui comes in, that and the team, that you need to be educated, because for every crop, me as Pastor Chilwa, I can't train you. I can't educate you in that. I'm not an agronomist like Mr. Yui. So these brains who are experts, they will be able to advise you. This crop, it's better you do it after June or before June. That's where they come in as technocrats. So as he said, do your part first, then leave the rest to God. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Flora.
How are you, sir?
I'm okay. Good evening, you.
Good evening, sir.
What's your name, sir, and where are you?
I'm calling from.
From who?
I'm calling from Solwezi.
Solwezi, what's your name, sir?
I'm David Katongo.
Huh?
I'm David Katongo.
Davis Katongo?
Yes.
Yes, sir, go ahead and ask or contribute.
Yes, just following your discussion with TV.
What did he say?
He's following the discussion.
I'm saying I'm following your discussion this evening on government TV.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I just want to put up a suggestion of the ownership of the land. In terms of taxonomy and those lands which are on that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm feeling that what I think is a template. When you draft something like a template, you put the gender, the location, the time, whatever there. You need to ask the end. That's why we put now the situation is for the chief, for the leaders, and now authenticate. This one is the man was authorized from our chief from our aware. I do not fear of the chief and manner. One can go and talk to the chief. That was my contribution. Come up with a template so that some of us can qualify.
Mr. Yui, that is directed to you. I'm sure you heard what he's saying.
Yes. Are you,
a suggestion.
yeah, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still online.
Okay. Do you have a piece of land?
Yes, I have one.
Where is your piece of land?
It is located in the
It's located where?
Kiavanka, 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 3 kilometers from the inside road.
Okay. Okay. So do you have authority over that land from the headman or from the chief?
I've been given that is you can affiliate with you.
Okay.
And everyone was decided on that paper.
Okay. Yeah, because I know Chief Mena has a very elaborate system where the headman and everybody they sign to indicate that they have consented to that person occupying that piece of land. His suggestion is very good in the sense that a template will be able to help for people like them who might not have yet gotten title, but have proof that they are rightfully where they are. Like we were discussing, that there are systems that have come in place with technology now. A piece of land is able to be marked and defined and be able to be ascertained as to this piece of land, this particular piece of land is falling in this jurisdiction. Some of the challenges that may arise, maybe you find that yourself, you are thinking you are in this chief. Meanwhile, by designation, it is in this other chief. When you register your detail, when they go to check there, they find that it's actually in the other chief.
They have encroached here.
So you have, so the details of proof of residence or proof of ownership may not necessarily be as robust as proving title. But a foolproof system will definitely be put in place. These are discussions that the committee will look at.
And this is what we are saying, that after we have compiled, we'll hand over to the legal system. Together with the committee, we'll come up with that. Because right now, people are just registering. We haven't even put the system into place. You remember we closed this some 3 weeks ago, but people keep on
registering.
But now that seed is about to come into the country, I think my wife and I were just looking at the time that we have also, and we have to submit all these names to the lawyers and everything. There will come a time when we just have to cut.
To cut.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We'll be able to take up our last 5 text messages, no phone calls, and may the Lord bless you. Mr. Director, if there are some messages, we'll be glad to take them up. Good evening, Pastor and Mr. Lubasi. Indeed, you are a solution to the gap that is lacking in this nation, I think, which we need to fill. Truly sons of the land. May the Lord bless you. Mwamba Navantu. Mwamba Navantu. Thanks. This is from Soreti. Good evening, Dad. I sent my details on 14 this month. Do I qualify? And when are the names going to be out? This is from Nkandu in Ndola. Sir, we are just compiling. Whoever has sent, we are just compiling. We haven't said this one has qualified or not. We are yet to come as a team. People have to educate you. You've got to know what is involved. It's quite a process. So we are glad that you submitted your details. May we have another text? How many hectares does someone qualify with this project? How many hectares do you do outgrower scheme, Mr. Yui? This is what he's asking.
What we've done for the outgrower scheme for cassava is that we are saying we understand the fact that it's very difficult to prepare to clear land, especially in Northwestern, where there are so many trees. Now, we also take into consideration the fact that the smaller the size, the lower the returns.
That's right.
So, you see, the cost of monitoring 1 lima and the 3 limas is the same. But the returns, the other one is 3 times more.
Absolutely.
So, for me, and my experience, for people to realize the income, I think